The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are in a little bit of a predicament right now because you can't buy them anywhere. Thank you, scalpers, for that, by the way. We're not big fans of you. But people that do get their hands on them, they kind of almost instantly feel buyer's remorse because they realize that there's not a ton to play on these things. Now, a lot of your old games work, and that's great. If you're into playing experiences that you've already played before, or you maybe missed some of these things, that's awesome. But there's no new experiences. Outside of Demon's Souls and Destruction All-Stars, I can't think of too much that is exclusive to PlayStation 5. And I understand the feeling that some people have that they just paid $500 for this thing, and they want to be able to play some games that they couldn't play before on their previous consoles. I totally understand that. So buyer's remorse is definitely a thing that's happening with these current generation of consoles. But I'm here to talk about, well, I don't have any buyer's remorse for my PlayStation 5. I really like that console. And I feel in order to talk a little bit more about this, I think I should just get one thing out of the way. And that is I fully believe and agree with the fact that these consoles probably shouldn't have come out when they did. Like, it doesn't seem like they were ready. The consoles themselves seem fine. I see no issues with the hardware, but developers clearly weren't ready to put out games on these things, not yet. I see a lot of back and forth from both sides of the fences. Some people feel really burned, understandably so. I totally get it. But then we have people on the other side saying, hey, you're lucky enough to even have been able to find one of these things. Yeah, just enjoy what you got. And the only thing I can speak about is me. So, hey, this is my opinion. Please don't hate me for it. You guys have been kind of mean in the comments. Not just in the last video, I don't want to say lately, but regardless, be nice, please. I love my PlayStation 5. Miles Morales was an amazing experience for me. I love shorter games now. I love Spider-Man and the Marvel Universe in general. I thought it was really cool. The story was like a little bit of a letdown, but I really enjoy the world. I enjoy Miles as a character, and the setup that they have for future Spider-Man games is great. I love it. Demon's Souls kicked my butt. I was able to beat a couple of bosses, but I'm never gonna finish that game, but the game's really good. It is. I had a fun time with it when I was able to stream it, and outside of streams, I've also had a really good time. I am one of the dozens of people that have played and liked Destruction All-Stars. I played that game for like 20 hours for some reason. I was convinced I was gonna make a video on it, but I just never formulated an actual concept, and it just led to me playing and capturing footage, but I had a ton of fun while doing it. That's a little bit of an underrated game. I hope it stayed free forever. That would have been great because it was part of the PlayStation Plus program. You were able to pick it up for free, but outside of that, it was $70. That's not good. But if that game stays free forever, it has some potential. Outside of that, most experiences can be had on your previous console. But if you're like me, you want the better experience. I've owned a very expensive PC forever. Various very expensive PCs. I don't have a expensive PC from 2010 that I'm still running games on. Regardless, I enjoy playing games on PC because I like the better experience. I want to get the most frame rate and performance out of my games. And now the PlayStation 5 allows for me to go back and play games that I've missed. And I've missed a lot of games in a better way. And for me, that's enough. That is worth the $500 with, not just that. I don't want to just buy a box that's going to play old games better and that's it. That's $500. No. I also keep in mind that games are coming. At some point, there will be PS5 exclusives. Now, if it's 1 year, 2 years down the line, you know, who knows what Sony's gonna end up doing. But for the time being, if I can enjoy some of these things that I missed in a better way, for me, that's enough for me. And I understand that we're all different there. I wanna say, I messed up because I recently finished playing through Final Fantasy VII Remake. And that was a huge mistake because now that PlayStation 5 version is coming, and I just beat this thing a few weeks ago. So I would have loved to have waited. Unfortunately, like, I love Final Fantasy and I waited long enough to play that game. And I figured there would be a PS5 version at some point. I just didn't have it in me to wait, honestly. It's just that simple. I also feel like we're gonna have examples of games coming up that are both on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, but are gonna just be remarkably better on PlayStation 5. Cyberpunk, and I don't like talking about that game very much, I really don't. But Cyberpunk, if you played it on PS5, you probably had a playable experience. I don't know if you loved it, but you had an experience that worked. And you can't say that for the last consoles. And I don't know that that game is gonna be the last time we see that. If we are to take what they said at face value, and I don't know how long they've been working on it or not, but Capcom says that Resident Evil Village was originally supposed to just be a next-gen exclusive, but so many people said, hey, we want this on the last gen, that they figured it out. I don't know that that's the case. Maybe that was always in their plans and this is just a consumer facing thing that they're saying. But regardless, I truly feel that the version of Resident Evil Village on last gen is gonna be super inferior. I hope it is good and playable for everyone that's still back there, but for me, I know where I'm at with it. One of the things that I just don't understand, and I frankly can't stand this, are people saying, oh, it was a waste of money. You spent $500, it was a total waste. Dude, like that's not true. Like it's just not true. It's not like you bought this thing just for now. Like you have it in perpetuity. You will have this thing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now when the next generation or current generation, I guess, exclusives come. It's not like a waste. Like, what are you guys talking? Like, that's such a, and it irks me a little bit because like, that's just so short-sighted. So yes, right this second, you can't play any crazy exclusives, right? Maybe you already played Demon's Souls, maybe Destruction All-Stars isn't your thing. There was nothing big right now, but that doesn't mean they're not coming. So your purchase, those $500, they went towards something. It wasn't a waste. Oh, one more thing that I want to talk about why this console behind me wasn't a waste, even though I don't turn it on a lot. I don't play it a lot. But this right here is reason enough for me to have that console. Now, I'm not crazy. I don't think that this controller is worth $500. No, but this has now become my best friend when playing games on PC. It has. I love it. Monster Hunter Rise is coming up, so I started playing Monster Hunter World recently, and I love the way the DualSense feels in my hand. I have big hands. I'm just big. So this fits amazingly, and I never want to go back to using smaller controllers, never. So that alone makes it just so that I'm automatically not going to be remorseful about getting this console because I freaking love this thing. Favorite controller ever. That thing is just so comfortable in this giant hands. It's interesting to note that there's like a divide. There's like a clear divide. People that want these exclusives and people that say like, yo, we can't afford that thing yet. Can you just keep putting everything over here? And I'm right in the middle. Like whatever ends up happening, I'm cool with because I understand the frustration of not being able to get one of these. It's difficult. $500 during a pandemic, during a time where scalpers are running amok and people just can't get anything even if they have the means. It's tricky. It 100% is tricky, and I'm sympathetic to that. But some cool experiences that I can only have on this console that, you know, again, I paid the $500 for it. I wasn't gifted it or anything. I get that too. So in conclusion, has this been a lackluster beginning to the next generation? Yeah, I think so. But am I still happy that I have the console and excited for what's coming up? Yeah, I am. By the way, I've been getting back into Apex Legends a lot, and I just love playing it on the PlayStation 5. It works perfectly. The DualSense is amazing, even though they don't have any like special features for the DualSense or anything. Same on PC, by the way. A lot of the features of the DualSense don't work on PC, at least not yet. Maybe they will at some point, but I'm aware of all that, by the way. Just wanted to say, I just like the way it feels. But what are your thoughts? Have you picked up a next generation console? I know I didn't mention Series X a lot, but that's because I don't have one. I don't want one right now. There's no reason for me to get one if I have a PC and all of Microsoft games are on there. I still like Xbox an awful lot. Like, I just love all the consoles. This isn't a pick a side thing, but sorry, I didn't mention it specifically, but I don't have it. The Medium was a really cool exclusive that they got, but I was able to play that on PC. So it all still fits. Enjoy what you enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a rating. I do appreciate that. I'm still trying to figure out an identity for the channel and see where we want to go. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and go hug your mother today. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Adios.